Ever feel like your creativity is a wild beast, thrilling but exhausting?
Have you felt overwhelmed by your own creative chaos? Or have you felt like I've done many times, stuck in never-ending procrastination, preventing you to get shit done? Today, I will show you a system that has transformed my journey as a content creator and professional videographer, and even helped me land more clients. First, I will share 2 real client projects, how I set them up and why I set them up that way. Later on, we will together build a brand new sort of production scheme from scratch using the amazing built-in templates for content creators, videographers, and filmmakers.
It can come in many shapes and forms, but a creative system is there to help us form our creativity into becoming more productive. But one of the main issues with many creative systems is that we spread them out over several different platforms. We might be using Google Calendar, for example, to book our client follow-ups and book our meetings and our editing time. We do our client briefs in Google presentations, Keynote, PowerPoint, or systems like that. Then we are using softwares like Photoshop or Illustrator to do mood boards. It can be Keynote as well. And the main problem with this is that we're spreading most of our creativity over many platforms, and that fragmentation of information is costing both valuable time, focus, and efficiency. Over a year ago, I found the solution in a system called Milanote. And Milanote is an amazing system for creative people. It is a cloud system, so we run it in our browser, but they also have an amazing iPhone and Android app. It also has an app for iPad, and I think it's really good. But Milanote really shines when we run it in desktop. It has so many creative features and tools that need the desktop version to come to its full potential.
This video is not sponsored by Milanote, but I love their system, and I wanted to share with you why I love it and why I think it's an amazing system for creative people like you and me, and why I think you should give it a try.
I currently use Milanote for anything creative, anything from client work to my own projects. It can be as simple as setting up a mood board for styling. I use Milanote to document the visual projects as well as more technical projects like marketing funnels. I can use Milanote for upcoming documentaries I'm actually planning, and I've just started to play with using Milanote for all my future YouTube videos.
Hey there, sorry for interrupting. But I would like you to tell me in the comments below how you prefer to plan your productions. And while we're here, if you're enjoying the ride so far, hit that subscribe button for more future videos like this. Okay, next I will share 2 of my client projects, how I use Milanote to plan them and execute them.
The heart of Milanote is its board and the toolbar on the left, but I'm going over those in more detail in just a second. So first I want to show this project. Nobody's perfect. It's actually my first and only advertising I did for a client. So this is shared between our huge team of 2 people and the client. So we agreed on the model to use for this project. We had the brief. I did a mood board to ensure that we stayed on brand with the colors and typography and the look and feel. So the client approved on this. Then I did a storyboard. So this is the core of the movie. It's an advertise for an energy and environmental company local in Sweden, and they had a new feature in the app they wanted to release. So I wrote a 9-scene advertising movie, and then I broke the storyboard into shot lists. So we're still in Milanote. This is amazing. And I brought this to set on my iPad. So when we sort of arrived on set, I'm gonna untick these. We just knew, okay, let's do an establishing shot on the room. When that was done, I ticked it, pan into the dinner, check this, the medium shots on the people. So I have an explanation of each scene and the lens choices I wanted to use on this project. This is so how we could plan the entire production with just 2 people plus the client in just a matter of days. And we shot this in 1 day. And this is how it turned out. This other client project, also managed and planned in Milanote, is a little bit different. It looks a little bit more complicated, and it was, because we're shooting 3 different videos for 2 different purposes and organizations at the same time. So I organized this also through scenes, but I made more emphasis on the transitions as well. So these cards are transitions. It's a 2-man crew, the same crew that shot the previous project, and here you have his comments. Sorry if this is in Swedish, but so basically he's asking a question about this specific transition and I'm answering him. I also broke this down into shot lists, but here I organized the shots for the 5 different physical locations instead of the actual scenes, because that made it easier to plan the day. So here you have the reception, location. We shot these different scenes. Here's the information I needed to shoot this. And then on the production day, these were obviously not ticked. While we were sort of shooting each specific scene and take, we just ticked them and then we were done. So that made it very easy to organize both the people that needed to be at the specific location at the specific time, as well as ensuring that we didn't miss any shots. And this turned out into a longer 4.5-minute event video, which was the purpose, being shown at the start of events in this physical location. And we also shot a social recruitment video for the Entrepreneurship Office Center.
Now that you have seen my setup and how I use Milanote to set up my projects, it's time for you to get your hands dirty. We will use Milanote's amazing templates for content creators, videographers and filmmakers and set up a project from scratch together.
On the left side of Milanote, we have all the available tools, and they are pretty straightforward, but the main one is the board. It's the container for all the other tools and information we want to add. Let's name it my new production, and we can set a color on it, and we can also add a custom color if we want to stay on brand, and we can label it with icons, as well as actually uploading images and our own icons. As soon as I open an empty board, Milanote suggests one of its templates. We can browse the template library. I'm going to go into film and TV, and if you click on one of Milanote's templates, it actually gives you a preview on how it will look if you use that template. So I'm going to use the pre-production plan, and you can also use Milanote's example content by ticking the box keep example content. But let's create an empty production. I'll just add some titles, so you can write pretty much how much information you want. So I'm gonna add this as my title, and you can write a longer description if you want. You can of course also paste information if you have this in an external document. We can add images, and Milanote is linking to royalty-free image libraries. This is very quick to add a basic look and feel. Let's fill in the mood board as well. So if I open something named mood board, Milanote is smart enough to understand that I probably want the mood board template. So I'm gonna keep the example content just for the sake of this video. Also, if we are pasting links, Milanote automatically embeds the information into Milanote, which is super helpful when you are planning, for example, YouTube content. I'm going to go with the film storyboard. You probably recognize this from my previous examples in this video. And I'm going to do this with an empty storyboard. And then we can just use the built-in image library, unless you have your own, and you can just drag them into the containers, and Milanote will sort of save them, and then we can write the descriptions for each scene. So I often have my own images ready for this, and I just drag them from a Dropbox template or directly from my phone. Also, if you want to add an image, you can drag them pretty much any size you want. So back to sort of staying creative, and we can even paint by hand on top of a board. So I'm going to drag a happy face with an arrow, and what's good, after you have drawn sort of a custom figure, it becomes draggable, so we can move this around in our boards. It makes it very easy to sort of be creative inside your boards.
I know it sounds counterintuitive finding freedom within the boundaries of a system, but it's almost like learning how to film. We first need to learn the fundamentals before we can start to improvise and truly express yourself and your creativity.
This is where I found the biggest benefits and the strength of having a creative system. It's not the boundaries, it's not the restrictions, it's just the opposite. Because by having a creative system in the bottom, having the same building blocks, I have the same shot list, I have the same type of mood board, I have the same scene progression. I don't have to spend any mental capacity on how I should structure the information. I don't have to spend any time on how I should communicate with my clients because I have the same system. So all my focus can go into filling the building blocks. So I can use the mental capacity of my creativity on the actual creating of a production. And so that's the real benefit of both having a strategic system, the building blocks of that system, as well as the physical system, in this case Milanote, which gives us the possibility to don't spend any valuable time and effort into how to structure creativity, but just in the pure joy of the creation. Also, having a system, it's the only real way to have a foundation to optimize the production, but I think that's for another video.
So, there you have it, a peek into my creative system and a quick guide into how you can set up your own. But remember, it's about giving your creativity a playground to roam freely, but with boundaries to stay focused. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and share it with your fellow creators. And why not add a comment below about your biggest creative challenges? Remember, we are in this together and together we learn faster. And if you want to learn more, I think you should check this video out. Stay creative.